Hello and welcome to the 2022 Manteca Masters. We are here at Bowlero in Manteca, California. We have the top 8 bowlers through qualifying, and the champion will be decided by a one-game single elimination bracket. I'm Kevin, here with Alex. Let's get right into the action. Alright, and here we are in round 1. We have Traco Holland against Aaron Hoover. And Aaron's going to come up first. Aaron qualified in 8th with a plus 125 for 5 games. And Traco was the leader through qualifying with a plus 232. Now, this tournament was a quote-unquote house shot. This house, well known for tough patterns and sticky approaches, although I have to say I was pleasantly surprised with how they cleaned up the approaches. I didn't have any issues, and I didn't really see anybody have too many issues with sticking, but the patterns were tough. The pattern was swirly, and it was, especially when there was a lot of carry down, they got very inconsistent. And so you're going to see, most likely, you're going to see great shots. At least the bowlers are going to feel like they're great shots, and you're going to see some weird ball reaction. You're going to see some weird pin reaction, and that's not necessarily indicative of their shot. It's just, that's just kind of how this house is. And so there's going to be a premium on doubles because they're going to be hard to come by, and an even higher premium on your spare shooting because you're going to have a lot of opportunities to pick up spares. And Aaron, obviously, unfortunately, going high, leaving a split in the first frame, not really an opportunity to pick up a spare realistically. Whereas Traco, leaving a single pin, able to convert. And Traco getting that one, I mean, it looked like a good shot. I mean, it's hard to tell. It was a light mixer. But like I said, he could throw that same shot again on that lane, and he could miss the head pin right, or he can go high. It's really hard to tell. Good shot there for Aaron. Bouncing back from that split. And Aaron again going high on that right lane. He's kind of throwing up his hands like he doesn't know what happened. He probably made a move and got the exact same ball reaction. And again, not really an opportunity to pick up the spare, as you know, the 4-6-7 is pretty much a crapshoot. There's no real easy way to shoot that. You just kind of go for your count and move on. Unfortunately, just getting one. But Traco here with an opportunity to pick up an early lead, and remember, this is just a one-game match. So if you can get an early lead, it'll pay dividends, you know, almost right away. And Traco going light again, getting a mixer, but it's not about how, it's about how many. And you're going to take strikes any way you can get them on these lanes on this pattern. Again, getting a light mixer. So it's hard to say if it's worth making a move, because you can see Aaron struggling and Traco's getting those strikes. It doesn't really matter how he's getting them. It's extending his lead. And so he's going to have an opportunity to see what Aaron does and decide if he wants to make a move or just kind of stay where he's at. Because as it is, if Traco doesn't strike, it doesn't look like he's going to leave anything that he can't manage to pick up. A big shot here for Aaron to get kind of back on it. And making a move and paying the price again for just a weird hit, or a weird ball reaction rather. So he went high on that lane twice, making the move, coming in very light, leaving the 210. At least more of a makeable spare than the other ones. And yeah, great pickup there. So Aaron kind of keeping himself in it. A lot can happen in 6 frames. Obviously, if Traco can find another double here, that'll mathematically almost shut Aaron out.
Both bowlers throwing either a Storm Trend 2 or a Storm Axiom Pearl, as Traco there leaves a 7-10. Both bowlers also kind of playing wider angles. At Manteca, when I bowled myself, straighters seem to be greater. Also, with a little bit of surface. I wonder if they made some surface adjustments, or if as the games progressed, they had to move more and more left. The division we were in, we only moved up to about 21, 22 or 23, 24, and then took the rest of the house. So I wonder how many games have been on this pair, what transition they're seeing. And again, as Kevin said, it's a one-game match, so they have to make their moves quickly, confidently, and also consistently.
Yeah, and you could see in the 5th frame when Traco left that 7-10, he made an adjustment and got to the pocket a lot better than the other ones, and paying the price with a pocket 7-10. So there's not a whole lot you can do in situations like that. You just make the moves you think you need to make and hope for the best. And it was a much better strike that he had in the 6th frame. And Aaron, with a double on his last 2 shots on lane 25, looked like he kind of liked it off his hand, like it was very similar to the other 2, and going right through the nose and leaving a split. And again, unable to convert. And he's running out of frames. And he needs a strike here, and he needs to hope Traco can give him some room. But he's got to find it pretty much now. And it looked like a much better shot, and it was almost a high flush 4-6. Luckily the 4 fell, leaving him just a 6 pin, giving an opportunity to fill a frame. But he is running out of frames. But spares aren't going to hurt him too bad. But that is going to hurt a little bit. So sometimes when you lose the pocket and your mind starts spinning and you're trying to figure out what you need to do, sometimes that takes away your focus from what you assume is kind of a guarantee. And so he might have been a little perplexed by that last shot, his last strike shot, and it was enough to get in his mind and take his focus away from picking up that 6 pin. And Traco trying to get that light mixer again, maybe saying, I'm not going for the pocket if I'm going to leave a 7-10. Luckily, only leaving the 4. Kind of got a couple pins of domino down for him, and yeah, he covers it up nicely. And with Aaron with a max 179, he's going to have to strike out, and he's going to need Traco to throw at least 2 of the 3 next frames as opens, which isn't out of the realm of possibility, but it's not something, definitely not a position you want to put yourself in. And Aaron's saying he thought Traco was done. He went on the left side, not knowing that Traco still had 1 more shot for his turn. Great shot there for Traco. So with Aaron being a max 179, Traco can double gutter out for 154. So he only needs 25 pins in 2 frames on a strike. You can pretty confidently say that Traco's going to move on to the round of 4. And Aaron, yeah, just kind of throw up your hands when what are you going to do? He's gone high 3 times and very light twice, and he can only do so much. You just make the move you think you need to make and hope for the best. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this game, quite a bit of luck factor on these lanes, so spares are a premium. Unless you're Traco and manage to get a bunch of strikes. That's quite a bit of strikes for how tough these lanes are playing.
Watching both of these bowlers, Traco playing a little bit of a straighter line, kind of having a little more success, probably bumped up his ball speed. Again, in qualifying, at least from some of the bowlers that I've seen, the more direct angles seem to have a better angle to the pocket, where some guys that went left, you had to be almost absolute perfect. I've seen kind of Aaron, the more left he went, the worse it looked, and then Traco, it seems like he's straightened up his angles a little bit more, amped up his ball speed, and again, just staying in the pocket a little bit better.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, if you play that inside line, it kind of got a little more swirly, and so Traco's playing more the line of straighter is greater. If you can't get a lot of strikes, leave yourself makeable spares. And you can see the difference there. You know, Traco had a weird hit in the 5th frame where he left the pocket 7-10, but other than that, he's left himself relatively easy pickup spares. A few single pins, and you know, leaving the 2-8 there, but a very makeable spare as opposed to Aaron, who was leaving, you know, pretty big splits where the probability of picking those up could go way down. But again, Traco able to get the strikes and the spares. Unfortunately, Aaron, mathematically, he's already been eliminated. So Traco's going to move on to the next round and still have a shot at the title.
As Kevin's also mentioned in previous videos, you know, you have a big lead. You have to either make line changes, ball changes. Traco ball changing to a 900 Global Zen. Just again, getting an idea, because it's a 1-game match in this finals of the Manteca Masters, and again, you got to make your moves quickly, confidently, and constantly.
Yeah, and finding that second line may pay dividends later, but they're going to move pairs, or not they. Traco's going to move pairs for his next match, and the next pair can be vastly different from this one. You just don't know what you're going to get until you're there. And it looks like Aaron took a little page out of Traco's book, going a little straighter and finding a little bit of success there. So if Aaron would have made that move earlier in the match, who knows? I mean, it could have been a different game, but as it is, good showing for Aaron. I believe he took 8th, as 4 bowlers are going to get knocked out in this round, but your pinfall did determine your position. All right, and here we are in round 2. We have Traco Holland again against Charlie Padre. Charlie being a lefty, and he likes to throw a little bit slower, and he likes to bend the ball a little bit more. So we're going to have to see how that plays into this game. But it looks like he's going pretty straight there, and lucky break there, leaving just the 10-pin. Just leave yourself makeable spares. That's really all you can do. The strikes will come here and there, but the in-between is where the match is going to be won and lost. Traco looking like he's throwing a very similar line that he did in round 1. Getting a good hit there. If he can get that consistent ball reaction, he'll definitely stay in that same area. Yeah, great shot. So opening with a double is going to put a little pressure on Charlie. He knows strikes are hard to come by. So let's see if he can match. He did throw a good shot in the first frame, getting an unlucky break, leaving the 10-pin. And another great shot there. And just, no, doesn't want to go down. So at least it looks like he's got a good line to the pocket. And like I said, the strikes will come here and there, and important to pick up the spares, and good cover on the 7. Ball drifting a little high, leaving the 2-4. Avoiding the big splits. That's the name of the game right now. And avoid missing spares that should be pretty routine. So unfortunate open there for Charlie. With a double here, Traco's going to open up a very early lead. Yeah, and Traco's got a very good look on this pair, it seems. I mean, it's early in the game, but at least he hasn't seen a ball reaction that surprised him yet. Big shot here to extend his lead to 44. Great shot. Just leaving the 10 pin. At least leaving himself something it's easy to pick up. And Kuika there playing caddy for Draco, giving him a spare ball. Good cover.
I had a chance to cross with Charlie, so he put up some good games. He made some quick moves to try to figure him out, so here's hoping that he definitely puts it together. Charlie was using a Storm Snap Block, good shot, using a Storm Snap Block during qualifying. This one I don't recall off the top of my head. Draco did ball change into an IQ Emerald. Seems like he can probably be a little softer with that one, get that ball to slow down and still give him some shape in the back. There was quite a bit of friction back there. You just had to try to manage some of the friction.
Yeah, great double there for Charlie. He hasn't really thrown a bad shot in this game. The third frame he went high, but I don't think that was necessarily a bad shot. But getting the double there keeps him in the match. At least makes Draco stay honest. He's asking the ball to push, and it does. And a great hit. So Draco has thrown 5 great shots so far, and all 5 are right there in the pocket. Not easy thing to do on this pattern, and hope to see if he can keep it up. Light mixer, he'll take it. He knows that was a big shot. So that's going to put the pressure right back on Charlie. Another great shot for Charlie. So, unfortunate start for Charlie, but he's definitely rallied, and he's going to make Draco have to earn this one. But a big shot here for Charlie. He's gonna. This strike could go a long way for him. And man, a lot of pins over there on the right side. None of them able to take out the 10. A good cover on the spare. Keeps him alive. And now Draco, if he can manage to find another double here, it's going to give him a pretty big opportunity to not have to really do anything in the 9th and 10th. And great shot. I mean, that looked absolutely perfect. Just one mishap in the 4th frame where he had that ringing 10. Otherwise, I mean, you realistically could have and maybe should have had the front 7 here. And another great shot. So, Charlie with a max 235. He's going to need all of it. He's going to need the next 5 strikes to have any hope in this match. And the way Draco's bowling, if he can just manage to get a mark in the 9th, it's all but going to end the match. And with Charlie unfortunately leaving a weak 7 there, I don't think he really has a chance anymore in this match. Mathematically, I think so. I guess he does, but Draco would have to go open with low counts.
With Draco's ball motion definitely being very consistent. That's a good light hit there from Charlie. Draco's look just seemed to get better and better after the ball change. He did talk to his ball rep, DJ Merch, and they probably had a game plan to the balls that he was using seemed just to slow down a little too much, trying to get to the pocket. A lot of light mixers. This one, Draco's definitely crushed in the pocket. Definitely, again, much better finish since the ball change.
Yeah, and with that strike, that's gonna do it right there. So if Draco can keep it on the lane, he's gonna advance to the finals, where he's guaranteed a first or second place finish. Depending on how the other match goes, Charlie is either going to take third or fourth based on pin count. And another 10 pin, but not a problem. Draco's just going to take a victory lap here.
Probably Traco's worst shot of the match. Again, pretty much improved. Just again took the foot off his pedal maybe a little bit. Just good bowling from Draco.
Yeah, and Draco going to be in the 250s. Phenomenal game for how tough these lanes are playing today.
As Draco's wrapping it up again, he threw maybe just one bad shot, where a bunch of them, light mixers, great shots in the pocket, where Charlie again had maybe 3 bad shots. He gives those 3 back, and now the game's a little bit closer. So it just goes to show, besides having skill, you got to have a little bit of luck on your side as well.
And hard to know really if Charlie even threw 3 bad shots. He might have threw shots that he thought were great off his hand and just got a weird ball reaction, but only Charlie's gonna know that. And great shot there. Now, at the beginning of this game, if you would have told Charlie he was gonna shoot 212 or 213, he probably would take it and take his chances. Obviously Draco bowling very well, it wouldn't have worked anyway, but 212, not a bad game on this pattern. Alright, here we are in round 3. This is going to be the finals. We have Draco Holland again against Lorenzo Liu. Now, Lorenzo, I believe, is 16 years old. And just a phenomenal talent. He's got a great future ahead of him in the sport of bowling. Expect to see him a lot in the years to come. Draco's opening shot, and a good one. So it looks like he's throwing about the same line he was throwing in round 2. And if he's going to find success there, Lorenzo's going to have to bring his A game. But this is the finals. These guys are bowling for the title, so there's going to be quite a bit of emotions going through their head, going through their body. You're going to get adrenaline, you're going to get anxiety. And it's going to come down to whoever can manage that the best and get the breaks when they need them. Draco coming in a little bit light, normally getting that mixer that he's been used to, not getting it this time. Fortunately, just leaving the 2-8. And a good cover. And it kind of looked like off his hand, he didn't like it. A little inside. Fortunately, just leaving the 3-6. As I mentioned before, it's all about making up the spares in between the strikes. Leave yourself something you can pick up and execute on the spare. Great shot there. So Lorenzo, with that two-handed delivery, able to put a lot of rotation on the ball. You can kind of see it in the last shot. He doesn't favor the higher speed and just focuses more on being smooth and letting the ball do more of the work. And Draco coming in a little high flush there, tripping the 4 and the 9 last a little bit late. Lucky break. I mean, you're going to need those. A good adjustment there. Remember on the last shot on that lane, he went a little light, leaving 2-8. Looked like he maybe slowed his speed down a little, gave the ball more of a chance to come back in and throwing a great shot. And Lorenzo following suit. So these guys matching shot for shot exactly. But Lorenzo with the first chance to get a strike and put the pressure right there on Treco. And a little high, tripping the 4 forward. Very fortunate. But take the breaks where you can get them. And now Treco, with the first time that we've seen in the first 2 matches, we haven't seen him behind in a match. And so this is the first time he's really going to have felt any kind of pressure whatsoever. He handled it really well. That was a great shot. I mean, you can't do anything about a solid 8-pin when you're a right-hander. It's just kind of a bad break, but again, leaves yourself something you can pick up. And he does that just fine. Great shot. So both these guys are pretty well lined up. Both of their 8 counts, I think Lorenzo just missed his shot and Treco coming in light, not getting the mixer. But other than that, both these guys have a pretty good look on this lane, on this pair. And Lorenzo coming in just a little bit high, leaving just the 4-pin. And just like that, we're pretty much back to a tie ball game. Max score being the same, 259.
Both bowlers playing a similar line from what it seems like, similar ball speed, just trying to definitely keep the ball in front of them as best they can. They're not trying to get it out too far, as you saw in the first couple matches. Lorenzo, again, just leaving 3-6, almost getting that 10-pin out. Leaving a 3-6 and then the 4-pin, so I wonder if on the left lane he'll make any moves to see if he is going to compensate for the lane adjustment, or if he just needs to just throw the ball just a little bit better, firm up on his ball speed, just to stay in the pocket.
And also remember, in the 5th frame, Lorenzo tripped the 4-pin, so again, maybe a sign that he needs to get the ball a little more right or change his angles, because the last couple came in a little bit high flush. Treco, on the other hand, I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, his lines look great, his angles look great. Looked like he missed his shot there and paying the price. Looked like he got the ball out a little fast, leaving the 2-4-10. Not the hardest split to pick up, but certainly not one you want to have to pick up in a title match. And at least getting the 2. Oftentimes you see guys try and pick that up and only getting 1, and if you're on a strike, that 1 turns into 2. And in a 1-game match, 2 pins very well could be the difference between a win and a loss. So make sure you get the count, which is what he did. Unfortunately with an open, but he'll have a chance to make up for it, and a great shot there. And now Lorenzo kind of in the driver's seat. With Treco getting an open, he can throw a double here and take command of this match. It wouldn't be over by any means, but it would certainly put a lot of pressure on Treco to do well in the 9th and 10th. And it looked like he missed a little off his hand there, a little inside, leaving just a 6-10. And yeah, he definitely got that left of what he wanted. He was worried about that chopping, but he covers the spare nicely. And with the strike here, it's going to set him up to be able to strike out and win the match, regardless of what Traco does. And he'll take the light mixer. He knows that was big. So no matter what Traco does in the 9th and 10th, Lorenzo will have a chance to win the tournament. And all the pressure squarely on Traco. He's going to need to throw a good shot here. Remember, he missed and left the 2-4-10 in the 7th frame. Other than that, he's been throwing great shots, and that looks like a good shot. Yeah, getting that light mixer, that's definitely been his miss to make. And with a strike here, it's going to almost force Lorenzo to get the first one in the 10th also. Great shot. So if Traco were to get 9 spare and then Lorenzo goes spare strike, we would have a tie at 220, or sorry, 216. If Traco can strike here, it'll force Lorenzo to throw the first 2 in the 10th frame. And a great shot. He knows how big that was. So Traco's going to need good count here, and it'll force Lorenzo to have to throw the first 2 in the 10th. All right, so 226. It's going to put the pressure right there on Lorenzo. Lorenzo's going to need the first 2 in the 10th and 1 pin. So certainly, I would imagine probably the biggest shot in Lorenzo's career so far. Remember, he is only 16, and it didn't look like it was horrible off his hand, but that ball checked at the arrows almost. Crossing over, almost getting the lucky break and carrying anyway, but leaving the 9 pin. Traco's going to win the tournament. Hold your head up high, kid. You're only 16 years old, man. I mean, you've got a lot of years, and you're gonna have your wins. Just put yourself in this position more. You'll get more and more comfortable, and chalk this up as a learning experience. I mean, 2nd place, great finish. And Lorenzo's gonna finish up this game. And Traco Holland is going to be your 2022 Manteca Masters champion. So congratulations to him on great bowling.
Also, big thank yous to Freddie Irvin and Mary Morales for running a tremendous Manteca Masters. They both put in a lot of work and effort into making it run smoothly for the scratch side. Congrats to all the winners, but also again, big thank you and congrats to Freddie and Mary for a tremendous event.
Absolutely, you guys did just a great job. We really appreciate it. All right, everyone, thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.